all 32 pod yesterday that he released with Ty Schmidt from the Pat McAfee Show was unbelievable. Nuggets on every single team getting ready for the draft coming up on Thursday night. And he broke down the fact that he's very concerned about his outfit on Thursday because he's not sure if it's going to be too hot. What does he wear? A suit, a sweater? I mean, this was this is not a joke. He goes through all 32 teams, and he's got passion, but his next level passion is with his outfit on Thursday because he was highly critiqued last year.
Oh,
remember
the hoodie, yeah.
the hoodie, which I liked, but Adam was critiqued, and he joins us now en route to Pittsburgh. Adam, let's start with this. It feels like the draft on Thursday night starts with number 3. What is the latest around the Arizona Cardinals, the possibility of trades, and Jeremiyah Love?
Well, good morning, Smalls, Courtney, and Evan. Thank you for the synopsis of my draft pod and my wardrobe decisions facing me for Thursday night. I am actually on the way to the airport right now, so the decisions have been made. We can get to that later. As for number 3, Evan, right now, the Arizona Cardinals are in a situation here where I know a lot of people are talking about the prohibitive cost of taking a running back at number 3. They'd have to pay Jeremiyah Love more than $50 million guaranteed, more than any running back has ever received. All fair. The money in the contract would make the running back the 7th highest paid running back in the NFL the moment he signs that deal. That is all accurate. That cannot be denied. But I also would say this. The Cardinals have drafted any number of defensive players in recent years: Darius Robinson, Xavier Collins, Walter Nolan. And one of these pass rushers may turn out to be great that they can get at 3. Let's not forget they hired an offensive-minded head coach. Let's not forget this is an entertainment business. Let's not forget the Cardinals could use a shot of juice and pizzazz for that franchise. Who's the best player in this draft? Jeremiyah Love. Now, I know they spent $7 million in Tyler Algier and $3 million on James Conner, and running back is not the most glaring need. But let's just say on Thursday night, the Cardinals do decide to go Jeremiyah Love, and let me say I think they're going to try to shop the pick, and if they can deal the pick, they will. But if they can and they stay at 3, can you imagine a draft in which, hypothetically, they take Jeremiyah Love at 3, which will be in the discussion, and then come back into the first round and take Ty Simpson? How many people are going to be excited about the Arizona Cardinals? When was the last time they were excited about the Arizona Cardinals? When Larry Fitzgerald was scoring on that touchdown run in the Super Bowl? So, to me, in one night, in one round, the Cardinals can change the feeling around that team for a while. I'm not telling you they're going to do it, but I do believe it's absolutely in consideration. And I do believe option 1 would be to trade out. But option 1 may not exist. So if they are left there at 3, and it's Mendoza 1, pass rusher 2, and the Cardinals are on the clock, what are they doing? And that's, to me, the decision that will obviously have a huge effect on the first round. Now, I'll say this. Even if they go pass rusher or offensive tackle, I still think that Love goes 4. So we're really not talking about it being a huge pivot point, but I think it's a huge pivot point for that particular franchise.
Adam, you mentioned that if the Cardinals can deal the pick, they will. And I know in your amazing piece at ESPN.com, you said there's already been exploratory calls there. Are you anticipating a lot of movement and trades in round 1 on Thursday?
I know Brett Beach is the Chiefs general manager. I'm not. Now, again, we'll see how it shakes out. First of all, you're going to need players to trade up for. And I don't know how many players there are that people are clamoring to go get. So could you get some teams jumping around a little bit? Yes, I could see a little bit of that. Do I see a dramatic Jacksonville, Cleveland-like move like we got on round 1 last? I don't think I see that right now. The last 2 years, there were 5 trades in round 1, both years. I think we could get a team trading up to Arizona spot. Could. Not saying we will. We could get a team trading up to Cleveland spot. Not saying we will. We could get a team a la the Cardinals or Jets that jumps back into round 1 for Ty Simpson. Maybe. That would be potentially, if all those things happen, 3. Of course there's going to be another trade or two where somebody's going to see somebody and not wait. There's going to be a run on offensive linemen in the teams where I could see a team that wants an offensive lineman jumping other teams that want offensive linemen to go get an offensive lineman. I could see that happening. To me, if there were 5 the last 2 years, we might get 5 this year. Probably not, but we might.
Adam, I wanted to ask you about Ty Simpson after you mentioned the Arizona thing, but you mentioned Cleveland there. And if I think of teams that love draft day chaos, it's the Cleveland Browns. And there was a claim that Andrew Berry made the other day about the possibility of drafting a quarterback. Maybe this is just trying to remain as open as possible and not give reporters anything, but is that a realistic scenario that they would be bringing another quarterback into the mix in Cleveland?
Well, Courtney, I think it is, but I don't think it's a quarterback up high. I think it's a quarterback that you're talking about. They have a high grade on one of these mid-round guys, and the guy's sitting there around 4, 5, 6, something to that effect, and they go ahead and take him. Could that be? That could be. But do I think they're taking Mendoza? No, he's not going to make it to them. Do I think they're jumping back into round 1 or taking Ty Simpson at 6 or 24? I don't. So where's the next quarterback coming off the board? There's a debate there. Is it after Mendoza and Simpson round 3, round 4? I think that's what we're looking at. And I think the Browns would take a quarterback in the right spot for the right value, but not force the issue.
We're talking with Adam Schefter, ESPN Senior NFL Insider. Draft, of course, on Thursday night. Adam's going to be all over it. I strongly urge you to listen to his podcast, the All 32, with all 32 teams. And Adam, the breakdown of the draft nuggets and intel around them. As I'm listening to this, I'm like, okay, this is the most interesting thing, right? And I'm almost ranking them. So it's like Jets at 2. Adam mentions they're already looking at 27 quarterbacks, including C.J. Carr at Notre Dame after that. Okay, that's that. Maybe the most interesting thing. Then in the Cardinals thing you just brought up, the Titans with Sonny Styles. Okay, that's interesting. Commanders, that's the low point for the running back Jeremiyah Love. That's the most. Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, Travis Kelce's successor, number 9 to Kansas City. Adam floats that as a possibility. That's the most interesting thing. Then I got to the Rams. I think the Rams are the most interesting team based on what you said in the NFL draft. Can you explain what they're doing at both wide receiver and edge rusher and why they may be picking one of those positions, at 13? Because that I thought was the most juicy.
Well, thank you for listening, Evan, and I appreciate you saying that. But what I would say with the Rams at 13, let me start by saying this, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the pod or not, but if the Rams had pick 29, Ty Simpson would have been square in the conversation there. Square in the conversation. So, by the way, that doesn't mean he's not getting at 13, but I think there's going to be other prospects that likely trump Ty Simpson. And if the Rams have 10 prospects that they really like, all 10 would have to be off the board for them to suddenly turn and draft Ty Simpson at 13. And so I do not expect that to be the case, but I do want to lay it out as a scenario because it's not altogether out of the question, as unlikely as it is. Saying that, I think in an ideal world, the Rams would like to get another wide receiver. Devontae Adams is at the tail end of his career. Puka is back with the team after spending part of the offseason in rehab. And I think that they'd love to go get Matthew Stafford another weapon. I would tell you that by the time the Rams turn rolls around at 13, Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate will be gone. 2 wide receivers off the board. There's a chance that Mekhi Lemon also could be off the board. That's possible. And so the Rams are going to be sitting there, and my sense is that they like these other wide receivers, but I don't know if they love them. And I think they like some of these offensive linemen, but I don't know if they love them. And so now we have a situation that I also think will come into conversation with them, will come up with them into conversation. They've got 2 great pass rushers, Jared Verse and Byron Young. Both are going to have to get paid at some point, probably in the next year. We just saw Will Anderson get $50 million a year. Are Byron Young and Jared Verse $50 million Will Anderson good? Probably not. Are they $40 million good? Probably. Both. And so if that's the case, can the Rams pay both defensive ends? Now, last year, They drafted a pass rusher, Josiah Stewart, but in the NFL, you could never have enough pass rushers. I think there'll be a pass rusher in the conversation. I'm not telling you they're going to go there, but that wouldn't be a position that most people would think they would associate with the Rams. And I think the Rams can go a lot of different ways because that's the kind of draft it is. There's nobody there that you look at and say, boy, if this guy just makes it to the Rams, like they're going to be taking this guy. There's a slew of players who are all good. And we'll see what the Rams decide to do with that pick on Thursday night.
Adam, let's zero in on the host city in Pittsburgh. What's the latest you can share with us about Aaron Rodgers and his future in Pittsburgh? And if they don't have an answer by Thursday, could his non-committal shape the way that they go about this draft?
Yeah, and they're not expecting an answer by Thursday. And it's a case where the beat goes on. It's just more of the same. This has been the story with him in recent off seasons. It continues to be. And it's an Aaron Rodgers decision, and it's very dangerous and difficult to get into his head to know exactly what he's thinking. I think the feeling still is that they believe he'll be back, but he's not. I don't suspect that they'll take a quarterback in round one, Ty Simpson being the guy. I think it would be interesting if somehow he made it to them in round two. You say, well, he's not going to make it there. Well, probably not, but we would have thought last year that Shedeur Sanders wouldn't have made it to them in round 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and he did. So you just don't know. So I think the Steelers will be looking at quarterbacks. And the other thing that's interesting about this is if you speak to people who are in the know, there was a real connection at the Combine between Mike McCarthy and Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, son of a coach, Mike McCarthy, longtime coach. Those two guys hit it off, which doesn't mean all that much, except for the